the issue yatinofana kuti izotipushe strongly. Section 32A subsection 7 requires a referendum. So that is never going to be escaping our attention, because it's so we are saying, kuti, do whatever it is that you want to do, but we want this referendum. If if we can, if anything that can be done cannot be, cannot, if anything that needs to be done now, if they push back against that, we always want to never forget 328 and see if we can push through that 328. At least if they give us, that, referendum. I know people are, are scared because it's ZEC that is going to be running, the election. So they are going to be rigging. They're going to be what? They're going to be what? One thing, that we must understand. Whatever it is zvoda kuitwa this administration. Ladies and gentlemen, there is external interest in whatever is going to go on in Zimbabwe. Don't think we are forever alone. There is the international community. It exists, for a reason. The AU chaiyo, inototaura nenyaya yema-elections, kuti izo ma-elections anofana kuitwa. SADC inotaura nyama-elections, ma-elections anofana kuitwa. And then tine ma-organizations atiri part of. And ma-organizations atiri kuda kujoina. Ekuti they made it clear kuti apa makatamba na apa. It can lead, to a different, outcome. Saka, there are all those things, that are riding, on this. Saka, for them to deprive people of the 90-day and actually, play with people during that 90-day, yes, it can happen, but it is something, that is serious, because it is touching sensitive institutions. Bakomana nyaya yoda kuitwa pa 212 yekubvisa oversight the defense forces to uphold the constitution. Haisi nyaya yekutamba nayo iyo iya, because the army yedu ndo inoprotecta. Saka, if the army cannot protect, the people, army does not only protect us against external pressures. Army not protect. So when you're looking at that, there's a lot of sensitivity that is, coming in terms of this amendment and what it wants, to touch. And number one, but I believe, and this is my prayer, and this is my hope, and this is my belief as well, to say, Kuti, one thing that can work on our side, and this is why I said people should never be operating from the shadows. That political system that is called ZANU-PF is not unified. There are divisions in that, outfit. There are people who are not happy. There are people who are against, this thing. So this period here, they will never use this period, touch wood, and they shouldn't. They should never use this period just for symbolic purposes. Because they should know that this is the pressure point. That is the pressure point. So as a citizens, we need to do our part. There are things, that we can do. We can organize as citizens. We can amplify the messages. And if you ever get to take part in those meetings or public consultations, right now, it's the benefit of my gadgets. You can record your objections. Because the parliament is expected to produce a report. So if that report does not capture the views of the people, we've got something to fall back to. And if anything goes wrong in the 90-day period, we can approach the courts. I know, yes, people are saying, Gudizo, it's a dead end. But we can approach the courts and register our concerns, because the courts can be in a position to review whether the consultation was genuine or not. And this is where the international community, comes in now. Because whatever it is that we do, and if we need the support of the international, community, these are some of the things that they needs to be visible. Because these guys, they are not that they are tracking, they'll be tracking whatever public participation that is, taking place. So it is something that should, yes, there are question marks, to the thing, but it is something that shouldn't be dismissed, just like that. And why I am saying that we need to be pushing again for the 328, because if they do whatever it is that they want to do during this consultation, if they ignore, I am telling you, the referendum is never something that they can afford, to ignore, because that is where now we are given the opportunity to express ourselves, to give, the final word. So this is why I'm calling for us as citizens to have an understanding, starting from what ZANU-PF needed to do, and then understand the overreach, that has happened, and then consider the legal defects that are there. This is why we're calling upon the lawyers to come through, and then think about the institutional risks that we are being exposed to, or that will be exposed to as a result of this overreach. Because one thing that I'll tell you for sure is, no matter what they try to do, they are never going to push this bill quietly. Because we need to make noise, and we shall make noise. It does not matter, where you are. You have to make a contribution. You have to do whatever it is that you can do within your power to make, that contribution. Because these guys, one thing that I'm telling you, good, they're going to be fearful of at the present moment, especially now. A backlash will be something, that will just bring them, to their knees. So our voice must be strengthened, and also we must encourage those who are within the system, who are resisting, to be part and parcel of everything that we are going to be doing. So yes, the 90-day consultation, don't take it as them doing us a favor, because it is not a favor. It is a constitutional obligation. It is prescribed for. And if they dribbled us, previously, like what Nelson Chamisa, was pointing out, with the, constitution, making. If they did that, previously, this time around it matters more, because the bill has already triggered alarm bells, and we are ringing them. When you are speaking loudly like this, and if you keep and maintain the consistency or speaking out, and when we invest our time to become knowledgeable, all these things, ladies and gentlemen, they are never going to be influencing only the parliament of Zimbabwe or only those MPs, but we can influence the entire political ecosystem, because that is how powerful you are as a citizen. And this is where you need to stand up and be counted, because this is not a joke. This is not a mean feat. Many are going to be perishing if we are not very careful, in this game. But we have to play this game knowing what we want to achieve.